All right, let's dive into one of life's biggest and, let's be honest, most frustrating questions. We're going to unpack what I call the Karma Conundrum. Why is it that good people seem to suffer while some pretty terrible people just seem to thrive? We'll dig into some ancient spiritual answers and the practices that are said to help us navigate this whole thing. I mean, it's a question we've all asked, right? You just look around the world, you see all the injustice, the hardship, and you can't help but wonder, why? Why does it all feel so incredibly unfair so much of the time? And you know, what's so fascinating is that this isn't some new, modern feeling of angst. This question is ancient. For literally thousands of years, people have been looking at the world and wrestling with this exact same problem. And the ancient texts, they don't dance around it. Take this verse from the Manusmriti. It straight up admits it. It says, yeah, a person who does wrong can prosper. They can see good things happen. They can even beat their enemies. But, and this is a huge but, it ends with a really stark warning. In the end, they're destroyed from the very root. So the idea is that any success the wicked have is temporary. It's built on sand. So how do these traditions explain this apparent contradiction? Well, that leads us right into our first section, the karma paradox and these powerful echoes from our past. This slide just frames the whole dilemma perfectly. It's a classic question from a student to their guru. If God is the one creating everything, why make a world with so much inequality? Why are some people poor and others rich, some happy and others just miserable? It's such a direct and powerful challenge. And the answer they give revolves around this key concept called Prarabdha Karma. Now, we often think of karma as, do good, get good in this life. But this is much more specific. Prarabdha Karma is the slice of your total karma from all your past lives that's basically ripened and is scheduled to play out in this lifetime. So here's the bottom line. What you and I experience today, all the good stuff and all the bad stuff, is basically the fruit of actions from a long time ago. So a person acting horribly now might be coasting because they're cashing in on the good karma credit from a past life. And on the flip side, a really virtuous person might be suffering because the bill for some past negative actions has just come due. It's like this massive cosmic accounting system that spans lifetimes. Okay, so if our present is being shaped by our past, does that mean we're just stuck? Are we just puppets of fate? Absolutely not. And that brings us to the path forward, exploring the incredible power of sacred practice to actually change our course. So what can you do? Well, the scriptures offer some very clear remedies to help purify that karma and shift your spiritual destiny. We're going to look at two of the big ones: Namjapa, which is the devoted chanting of holy names, and Puja, which is ritual worship. I love this quote because it paints such a vivid picture of how chanting is supposed to work. Cheto Darpan Marjanam means that chanting the holy name of God cleanses the mirror of the mind. It's not just repeating words. The idea is that it's a deep, internal cleansing that scrubs away all the dust and grime of past karmas that have clouded our consciousness. And it's not just chanting. It's a whole spiritual toolkit. The scriptures say that when you combine disciplined practices like japa, homa, or fire rituals, and dhyana, which is meditation, you can ultimately free yourself from the entire cycle of karma. It's a total approach to liberation. Now, anyone who's actually tried any of this knows it is not as simple as it sounds. And that brings us to what is probably the most common hurdle for, well, everyone: taming that restless mind of ours. You know the feeling. You sit down to chant, you're ready to meditate, and then what happens? Your mind is off to the races. You're thinking about your to-do list, what's for dinner, that weird thing someone said yesterday. This struggle to concentrate, it's completely universal. So what do you do about it? Well, the great news is this problem was addressed thousands of years ago. And the Bhagavad Gita offers a really direct, practical, and honestly timeless answer to this exact challenge. So in the Gita, Arjuna basically complains to Krishna that the mind is impossible to control. It's like trying to tame the wind. And Krishna gives this famous reply, Abhyasena tu kanteya vairagyena chagrihete. He says, yep, the mind is restless for sure, but it can be tamed. And he gives us two tools: Abhyasa, or consistent practice, and Vairagya, which means detachment. Let's really dig into that first one, Abhyasa. What does it actually mean? It's not just trying it once in a while. It's a persistent, dedicated, repeated practice. It's about showing up consistently. And here's the kicker. Even when your mind wanders, the very act of gently bringing it back, again and again, that is the practice. That's what builds the muscle over time. Okay, before we wrap this up, there is one last, really crucial point we need to cover. Think of it as a word of warning about the importance of using the right method. And this is so important. The scriptures draw a really clear, bright line between proper and improper practice. A proper ritual follows the scriptural roadmap. It's done with sincerity, and it leads to peace and progress. But when you do things based on your own whim, or just for show, well, the texts warn that this can seriously backfire. It can lead to catastrophe. This quote just sums it up perfectly, doesn't it? Not less, not extra. It's not about doing more to get some kind of spiritual extra credit. It's about precision. It's about respecting the process that's been laid out. So we've looked at the why behind suffering and the how of spiritual practice. This ancient wisdom gives us a map. It explains the problem of karma, and it offers a path forward through dedicated practice. So the final question really is for all of us to think about. Knowing the path and the practice, what will you choose? If you like the video, please share and do subscribe for more such videos.